Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Ask the clerk if anyone's participating electronically.
No one has it yet.
Both of these. The first item is the adoption of the agenda. So I was gonna get the.
Sorry, one more thing here. Fire, this is the pager.
Oh, okay.
Who's that?
Sorry, it's just the pager.
Okay.
Right, we're all here.
So the motion is moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Tiver. Be it resolved that this meeting agenda dated Monday, February 9th, 2026, be adopted as amended to include the following changes. Section 3, adoption of the agenda, add item number 3.2, mayor's announcement. Section 7, notion of motion, item number 7.1, change to include mayor and CAO treasurer. And section 8, correspondence, add item number 8.9, letter from Ministry of Transportation. Questions, comments? None? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. Three point two. Bear with me. I prepared a statement and I'll just read it. Okay, I must start with the most sincere and appreciative thank you to various ministries of the province of Ontario, and more specifically, our MPP Vic Fideli, Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, for believing in Mattawa, a growing and resilient community that is healthy, vibrant, and strong. A community that provides quality services efficiently through partnerships, public engagement, and good governance. To our municipal council, thank you for supporting and approving the taken path, a path that will jumpstart Mattawa's growth. Finally, to our municipal staff, thank you for ensuring that these directives were understood and delivered. Mattawa wants to grow, Mattawa needs to grow. Main Street Detailed Engineering and Environmental Assessment. Main Street, Highway 533, is vital to the town of Mattawa as it represents our downtown and runs through the heart of our community. We are grateful for the Connecting Links program support from the province, which allowed us to create the design and engineering needed to modernize our main street. The total approved cost was $338,858. Connecting Links provided $300,972, and the town share was $33,886. The Paul Marie Bélanger Bridge detailed structural and environmental assessment. The bridge was constructed in 1949. The purpose of this assessment is to provide council with background information required to determine whether rehabilitation or replacement of the bridge would be the preferred approach to extending the operational life of the core infrastructure. Construction will not take place until funding is secured. At this point, we estimate construction costs for rehabilitation will be in the $5 million range, and a new bridge would be in the $20 million range. When approved, the MTO Connecting Links program will provide up to 90% funding for approved components. For the assessment, the total approved cost of $381,600. Connecting Links program provided us with $343,440, and the town share was $38,160. New water reservoir, feeder line, and new supply well assessment. Some 35 years ago, the town of Mattawa was put on notice by engineers that our aging water reservoir, built in 1949, was insufficient for the future and without investment was destined for total and catastrophic failure. This 4.3 million in health and safety water stream funding will allow for the installation of a new reservoir on our Dorian Road Mountain View subdivision, which will not only contribute to the development of the area, but also increase our potable water reserve threefold, all the while increasing our firefighting ability throughout the town. This project is like transplanting a heart into our future residential and light industrial development. Following the other provincial contribution to the Dorian Hill reconstruction, ISIP, that was at a tune of 4.7 million. This new investment in Ontario to secure and enhance our water infrastructure will be felt throughout the town and serve future generations. This investment finally allows us to replace the reservoir and will be situated on the south side of Dorian Road and will serve all of Mattawa. The total approved cost was $5,907,258. HSWS funding is $4,312,298, and the town share is $1,594,960. Main Street rehabilitation. I'll repeat it again. Highway 533 runs through our downtown, the heart of our community. It's been 35 years since Main Street received any significant investment. And this much needed connecting links funding is essential and critical to the rebuilding of our downtown core, rehabilitating the street to address public safety, traffic capacity deficiencies, and other infrastructure needs. A connecting link is a designated municipal road or bridge that connects two ends of a provincial highway through a municipality or to an international border crossing. This year, the Ontario government is investing over $46 million in 21 projects to repair roads and bridges in 20 municipalities across the province. Eligible costs for connecting links include the design, construction, renewal, rehabilitation, and replacement of designated municipal roads and bridges. The total cost for that, $3,922,259. Connecting links will provide $3,177,000. And the town share will be $745,259. The Curling Club and Fitness Center through the NOHFC. The Voyager Curling Club and Fitness Center have not had any significant investment in several years. This funding will provide state-of-the-art equipment for the fitness center. The investment in the curling club will allow for more efficient ice making and maintenance and will bring the facility into the 21st century and make it accessible place for all to enjoy. The total approved cost there, $554,763. NOHFC funding, $415,772. The federal share, $55,541. A third-party share, $31,905. And the town share, $51,545. No words can quantify what these announcements mean for us. Think about it. Almost 8.6 million of provincial funding granted the past few months. It feels like Mattawa has won the lottery. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. Anybody have a conflict of interest to declare? None? Okay, there are no presentation and delegation. Adoption of the minutes as circulated. I need a seconder. The motion is moved by Councillor Bigelow, seconded by Councillor Levite. Be it resolved that council adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of January 26, 2026 as circulated. Questions, comments? None, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. There is one notice of motion, two notice of motion, 7.1. It's a council and staff attendance to 2026 Phenom Conference. Councillor Ross, you wanted to move this?
Yes, please.
Okay. And someone to second it? So the motion is moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Levite. Be it resolved that council approves Mayor Bélanger, Councillor Laura Ross, and CEO Treasurer Paul Laperrière to attend the 2026 Phenom Conference being held in the city of Timmins from May 11th to 13th. Questions, comments? None? Okay, I will call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. Seven point two is support for steel and lumber sectors. I need a mover and a seconder. That's the one Councillor Levite wanted to bring forward.
Yeah.
And a seconder.
Gary.
It- So the motion is moved by Councillor Levite, seconded by Councillor Hebert. Be it resolved that council supports the township of Nairn and Hyman for their support for steel and lumber sectors. And further that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Prime Minister of Canada, the Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry, the Minister of Northern Development, MP Pauline Rochefort, MPP Vic Fideli, Phenom, and all Ontario municipalities. Questions, comments? Councillor Gardner?
Just my only comment to the resolution that was provided to us from them was I just didn't really agree with one line that they had, that they commend the government of Canada for its leadership in implementing substantial measures to support those industries. They're getting too far off topic. One of their big things was the $500 million to Algoma Steel to save 2,000 jobs there. It just seems like the government's always eager to step forward and help save some of these bigger economic drivers in the country, which is important. But we seem to often forget about the small businesses and communities like ours. It seems like there's never a bailout for the small grocery store in a small town or a small clothing store. It always seems to be those big companies that get those bailouts. So that was my only concern. I still support the majority of the motion and just didn't agree with that one kind of statement in there, but.
Okay, Councillor Levite?
Well, it wasn't federal, that was provincial, that grant anyway for the steel industry. But the point is that they're major employers, so if you can save losing jobs, it's worthwhile. Give a little to make a little, so. My comment.
Any other comments? Okay, last meeting I had commented on it. I know that I've reread it and I caught on to it a little better this time around. The federal government has put a lot of money into helping both sectors. The motion itself was asking, the motion from the municipalities that we're supporting are asking the provincial government to step up. And I had missed that part, so I'm in favor of supporting this now. Oh, you're good? I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. Okay, correspondence 8.1. Phenom 2026 Phenom Conference and keynote speaker announcement. Any comments, questions? None? 8.2 Phenom letter to Prime Minister, Highway 11 and 17. Comments, questions? None? 8.3 City of Peterborough sustainable funding for police services request. Questions, comments? None? Township of Southgate, Omer's Bill 68 municipal resolution. Council Gardner,
I just like, I read through it and I'm just, I was just hoping somebody could kind of give me the gist of what they're trying to say. And like, I understand that they're changing, what's the words that they use? They're basically Omer Sponsors Corporation with a new sponsors council, so they're gonna lose their corporate status and independent resources. This proposed model could allow pension decisions affecting municipal employees and employees to be made without meaningful municipal oversight. So like, what oversees Omer's now versus what does the?
my understanding, and they talked about it at Roma. It's a board that operates and the government is trying to improve the governance of it. And they've assured everybody that was attending Roma that this would in no way affect contributions to the pension plan or receipt of money for the workers in the plan. It's totally a government's issue. Both sides are not totally in agreement, and that's why they're going back and forth on it.
Could you explain it to who right now makes the investments decisions
The
for
board,
investing?
the board.
But they're gonna take away the board's or they're trying to take away the board's corporate status. What does that mean? And then and independent resources.
And that's their argument right now. I think the government wants to be part of it. Want to be there to ensure that it's gonna be streamlined and that they're gonna improve governance. And again, like the ministers and what they call the bear pit, two of them reassured everybody we are not. And that's something that Premier Ford insists, if this is gonna hurt, the recipients, or if it's gonna hurt the money going in, he says, I want nothing to do with it. So it's strictly governance, strictly rules and stuff like that.
Policies and guidelines.
Yeah.
But Omer's does those investments, right?
Absolutely, they're,
Okay.
they've got, I can't remember, I'm gonna shoot it out there, 52 different companies that they own and it's huge.
Like the teachers.
Yeah, they were part of it, Golf Town, the place where that's theirs, there's some place where you wouldn't even think they're involved in and they are, so. I remember when I was contributing, I was looking at the list of that and it was quite impressive. And it's like in the billions of dollars.
We should buy shares in them. The money we make.
Any other questions? So, and I think it's gonna be, at the end of the day, it's gonna be lawyers from both sides that are gonna come to an agreement. And if Omer's really feels like they're being fleeced, they're gonna fund. And they've got the backing of Aroma, they got the backing of AMO, so everyone is watching this closely. Okay. 8.5, Phenom Birth of Change Initiative. Questions, comments? That's a long one, right?
Yeah. That's a drug diversion.
Mhm.
8.5. This one is
So no comments on that one?
8.5,
Yeah,
or we missed the,
yeah, I'm trying to get down, but I'm trying to find 8.6 here and I'm having a hard time. There it is. 8.6, Phenom, closure of Life Labs. Any comments, questions? Counselor Gardner?
Again, without getting too far off topic, just read my earlier comment. Here's a business that apparently is very important to that area. I don't know the effects on our community. I don't know where all of our testing and stuff like that gets done in our area, but you know, small business that obviously affects the north and municipalities have submitted that, and there's no bailouts for them, right? It's always the big multi-thousand-dollar companies.
Yep.
That's all.
And I'll say it again, sometimes I'd like the provincial government to be more engaged with health spending. You know, they're leaving quite a bit to municipalities to pick up. And it's all tied in, and when they do see something like this leave, you know, they're not going to bat for anyone.
Laura, over here.
Sorry, Councilor Ross.
That's okay. I think this also affects some, like it also affects tests that are done here because a lot of our tests are sent to Sudbury that are done in some of these labs, I believe. So this may affect like our area as well as just Sudbury. So I think it's worth supporting that we say that we're not happy about the closure of Life Lab. And hopefully they would keep it going.
Didn't say you wanted to brought back next meeting. In the municipality of Marks-Day Warren, 8.7, support resolution closure of Sudbury Life Lab. So. Their municipality has supported it and they're putting their reasons why. So that's all tied in with 71. 8.8, North Bay Perry Sound District Health Unit, 2026 municipal levy. Questions, comments? Councilor Gardner.
We're always beating the same dead horse, but 4% increase on a municipal share, don't have a say. We're told what we're gonna pay. It's obviously important work that they do. The one thing that kind of flagged me was that, you know, they're sitting on I believe they said $2.5 million, $2.4 million reserve. So it's very frustrating to see increase after increase, like our taxpayers are at the brink. You know, it's tough times for everybody, and you know, to see somebody sitting on a decent reserve like that, you know, when we're struggling to make everything happen is frustrating. And they're not the only board that does this to us. There was one a few weeks ago that I looked at and I pulled up the stats on their reserve was massive compared to anything that we see here, but yeah, frustrating.
And what I picked up on it is the sharing split is 77.29% provincial and 22.71% municipal. Again, health is their responsibility. And and also 4% this year plus the 1% that was legislated for a few years. This is the last year, so that won't be up next year. So probably it'll be even more, because I've never seen anyone come down. It's always more. Councilor Levi.
I think they should maybe protest this reserve fund where they're up to a maximum, and because they can go up to 10, 15, 20 million dollars if they keep going this way. Because whatever money that is surplus to them, they throw it into reserve, where it should be coming back to the municipality to offset their share. That's what it should be. So we should voice your opinion on that aspect in a way.
Yeah, I think if you recall, Councilor Levine, last year, we really went after them.
Yeah.
And they came back and basically answered, and they told us, here's what we do, and we need the money to do it. And as far as the reserves, I'm not okay with it. It seems that everywhere we pay, and Councillor Gardner is right on that, they have reserves and we can't afford to have reserves because we're paying into everyone else's reserves.
That's right.
So. I was just trying to find the exact, well, the municipal reserve balance as of October 31st is 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
No.
8.9, Ministry of Transportation, 2026-2027 Connecting Links Program Funding. Questions, comments? We've been over it. Thank you. Okay, which brings us to information reports and motions. 9.1. It's prepared by CEO Treasurer. It's titled Health and Safety Water Stream Program Funding. Report number 26-03R. Paul?
Thanks, Your Worship. I won't spend a lot of time on this report. Mayor Belanger went over the funding announcement. We were asked to attend a public presentation Thursday morning at the North Bay Water and Sewer Treatment Plant. And along with announcement for North Bay and for the township of Nipissing. And so our share from the province is, 4.3 million. And North Bay got 11.5, but I needed the math and they're, we're not even 2,000, but they're 50,000, so they're 25 times bigger. So if we got 4,000, 4 million, North Bay would get 100 million on a per capita basis. So the fact that we got 4.3 million is kudos to the town. This was our third attempt at getting funding from the province. As you know, we strike one, strike two, strike
They're trying to tell.
three times the charge. Exactly. Now the project, I said, must start no later than June 30th, 2026, but we're allowed to go all the way back from round one application, so April 1st, 2024. So we're effectively started, and so the costs that we've incurred and the environmental assessments and those things, they are fully reclaimable and will be part of our application and our funding. And so it begins.
Awesome.
Perfect. Any questions for Paul? Okay, I'll need a mover and a seconder to accept the moved by Councillor Bigelow, seconded by Councillor Gardner. Be it resolved that Council of the Town of Mattawa received the report number 26-03R titled Health and Safety Water Stream Program Funding. Questions, comments, none? Call for a vote, all in favor? Carried. Nine point two, again prepared by the CEO Treasurer. Title is Purchase of 598 McConnell Street Property. And it's report number 26-04R. Paul?
Yeah, thanks. So just as an update on the last meeting on this matter, council directed me to complete the transaction with 9343199 Canada Park and on February 5th. That in fact took place, and now have a strategic asset to by which to make decisions as we so choose.
Okay, any questions for Paul? No,
I just want.
Councillor Gardner?
I just guess that is it during budget conversations that we'll kind of start to talk about and discuss what we want to do with the location? I'm trying to get there without.
It's a good question. I know we have a group that we had started a conversation with. And we put it on hold until we knew how this was going. I think that should be the first step, let that group know that we're there. And then come back to council and I can let you know also, there's probably a third option that's gonna be out there also. And I've been asked, would you, I said, send your proposal, we'll look at everything. So I think, well, once we get a package together, it's gonna come back to this table for deliberation. And decision time. And that's my,
Yeah, no, it's, we've got, capital projects, a bunch of them now, as per your announcement. So I think in the budget process, we'll have to decide, we can't tackle them all at the same time.
No.
Let's be honest. And so we need to strategically decide which asset we're gonna do. The health and safety water stream is probably first on the list, and it needs to go. And then we'll have to prioritize when we can do what with the other ones, but certainly in the budget process, Councilor Gardner will reflect that.
yeah, and something to remember, some of those grants have a deadline. Yeah, so we have to be very careful of that too. Councilor Devine.
I think we should have an enclosed meeting to prioritize all what we looking at and put them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so. And then we can decide at that time, and then when you're ready to make your announcement, you just do it.
Yeah, and I think if I may, that can well be part of the budget discussion, and I don't think it needs to be in camera, I think those are public discussions.
Okay.
And how we, council chooses to spend the money, and yeah, so we need to look at that, absolutely.
Job well done.
Anything else? Well, we'll move her in a second there. Oh, Councilor today.
But we still have to consider the proposal that was brought forward that by a council member that.
That's one, that's one of them. There's one.
Would that be
this
the
is-
number one priority, or is it not a
We
priority?
just said that we're gonna bring it back to the
Yeah, I know,
table with
I know.
everything, and that's a decision council will have to make.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't an absolute no, it was just a table.
Yeah,
And it was tabled until this came out.
yeah,
And like I heard of a third possibility that we haven't seen yet, but I just heard it, so. Councilor Gardner.
Just sorry, their proposal was also made with what they had available at the time. Once they're notified that this has happened, their proposal likely changes. So I would imagine like the location's a better location than what they had. And we're all talking about it, but we're not saying it. It's the library proposal that was made to us. So that people are aware of what we're talking about. But yeah, I think their proposal will probably get pulled back, kind of rejigged and then brought back to us, is my guess.
that's what I was trying to
Mhm.
say. Thank you.
So you're talking about the third option.
No, I'm talking about the proposal that was made to us with the museum from the library board.
No,
I'm
okay.
saying boards made aware that there's another possibility or two possibilities. They'll probably pull that proposal back and look at different options and maybe bring something back to us again, right?
And that's why I said that group, and I forgot what we had called the group, all the.
Yeah, and
Anyway, it's a group had representative from everyone that,
yes.
from the museum, from the all the
Like a stakeholder
municipalities, stakeholders group, thank you. I couldn't remember the name, so, and it was on hold for close to a year, cause that's how long it took to close this deal. So. And then now we're ready to put everything up front and but like our treasurer just said, we got multiple programs on the go. We're gonna have to be wise and we're gonna have to can't address them all at the same time, maybe two of them at the same time, but not 7 or 8 of them, that's for sure. It's all good news in my books. So a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Tiber, seconded by Councillor Gardner. Be it resolved that Council of the Town of Mattawa receives report number 26-04R titled Purchase of 598 McConnell Street Property. Final round for questions or comments?
Support your vote, please.
Any questions or comments? None, okay, recorded vote request by Councillor Levite.
Councillor Levesque,
Yes.
Councillor Hubert,
Yes,
Councillor Gardner,
Yes.
Councillor Ross,
Yes.
Councillor Bigelow,
Yes.
Mayor Belanger.
Yes.
Motion is carried unanimously.
Okay, 9.3.
Well, Mayor, but you do have a second resolution for this report.
Sorry. I need a mover and a secondary again. I missed that. Ross. And a seconder?
Sure.
Okay, the second motion, moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by, Councillor Bigelow. Be it resolved that council approves the purchase of 598 McConnell Street and authorizes the mayor and CAO treasurer to execute the purchase and sale agreement and such documents as may be necessary. Councillor Gardner.
I'm just like, is it a technicality that this has to be like done? Like it's already happened. Like, so you're kind of voting on it after the fact. You just said we own the building as of February 5th.
Can answer what this would be?
Yes, because any purchase of a property the council makes has to be done in an open session where it was not done up until this point.
Okay.
So, yes, you're right,
Gotcha. Okay.
It's gotta be backed up with a resolution
or bylaw.
or a bylaw. Gotcha.
Okay.
Any other questions? There are no questions or concerns, requested vote by Councillor Levite. Requested recorded vote by Councillor Levite.
Councillor Levesque,
Yes.
Councillor Ross,
Yes.
Councillor Bigelow,
Yes.
Councillor Hubert,
yes,
Councillor Gardner,
No.
and Mayor Belanger.
Yes.
Motion is carried with a recorded vote of 5 yeas and 1 nay.
Thank you. And the final one, 9.3, prepared by the Director of Community Services, titled Staffing Updates. Report number 26-05R. Dexter?
Yeah, so obviously there have been some staffing changes, and I felt it was important that council was aware of some of those changes. You'll see new faces, and then now you'll be able to connect them to some names. In some cases, names that may not have started yet. So recent interviews were completed for the Public Works Supervisor position. A hiring committee was myself, Paul, and Mayor Belanger. Due to Paul's unfortunate absence, Paul replaced himself with Councillor Gardner. 4 applications were received, 3 applicants were interviewed, and after consideration, Mark Duvall was the successful candidate. Mark starts March 2nd, 2026. This is for the temporary caretaker 2. Recently, a posting went up externally for a temporary caretaker 2. The hiring committee was myself, Sherry, the supervisor, and Paul. 1 application was received, 1 applicant was interviewed, and after consideration, Mike Cadet was a successful candidate, and Mike started in early December and has been working at the arena since. Which you'll see that some things changed here. Permanent clerk 1 at the info center was posted with the recent retirement. It was posted internally. Due to the fact that there was a clerk 2 in their position, no hiring committee was required. After joining us in 2025, Natalie Gravel was a successful candidate. Permanent clerk 2 at the info center, with the recent promotion of the clerk 2 to clerk 1, the clerk 2 position was posted internally. Due to the fact that there was someone qualified within the bargaining unit, no hiring committee was required. After joining us in late 2025, Mike Cadet was a successful candidate. And the temporary caretaker 2, due to the promotion of the previous caretaker 2, and an absence in the caretaker 1 position, we'll be posting for another temporary caretaker 2, and this will help cover the continued absence in recent promotions. And that's it.
Any questions for the director, Councillor Levesque?
Public Works for one. Why wasn't there a job description, his qualifications, and his experience as a road superintendent or a supervisor attached to this, so we could pursue if he meets our qualification? I know you guys had a committee of the 3 years, but the point is that I would like to see the description and his qualification versus just coming ahead. We used to do it before, and now we're not doing it anymore.
Yes, so I would just refer back to the policy. The policy is that the hiring committee is struck and handles the interview process, handles the applicant filtering as well. And so that doesn't come to council until after the person's hired at this point.
Well, I think that's wrong, but anyway, my number 2 is the position for the clerk to info center. Was posted for everybody
It was posted internally
internally,
because there was a qualified applicant in the bargaining unit.
so this only those who are at work or those who are temporarily off work, or sick leave or whatever, do they qualify to apply for this?
Anybody internally is able to qualify for internal posting.
And I mean, you got just one?
There was an application, but there was no hiring committee needed, and there was only one applicant.
All right.
Okay, so before I pass it on, part of the answer is, yeah, we have the policies and the policies were followed. But as far as job descriptions, we approved all those while we did the policies. So you saying that there's no job description
Of the person,
is false.
You mean the resume?
well, the resume or whatever it is, if you have policies, so resume and his qualification. Would it meet our standard? I would like to see them
Yeah, it does.
before the person is hired, because we might see something that's
Yeah, and then just as a staff, we confirm that the applicants are qualified to do the work they do. And the job that they're being hired for, so they met the qualifications.
and this is on a probationary period.
Yes, before it's like call position.
Councillor Ross,
Is public works supervisor a department head?
No,
No.
They're not a department head.
or supervisor.
Okay, I thought they
I
were.
think that's
department.
what's like some of the communities that have started, because the fire chief, our CEO, the director, all those staff would have to come through council, and then
Yeah.
generally in the past, like we had the managers like for public works.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where we would have they would come with the recommendation, and then we would have the say.
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of where there's been a change.
Okay, so public works supervisor.
They're now supervisors.
Okay.
The policy was changed.
Yeah, so just for greater clarity, that change, you're right, Councilor, I think that before there was no director.
Okay.
So the public works supervisor and the vacant supervisor of Parks and Rec were department heads. But then we changed the org structure, if you remember, we had the org structure and we introduced the director. That director became the department head. So the supervisors report to the director they're not the department head. So this is a non-department head hire. So if it
Oh,
was a department head hire, then
Would
the
be.
policies are different with that council,
Okay.
right? But this is basically, it's very similar to hiring any staff, except that, unlike temporary staff, council is we're required to have a council member as part of the hiring committee. In this case, in my absence, there was actually 2 council members as part of that to ensure. the process
Yeah.
is followed.
I'd like to have a copy of that, please, when you have a chance. And I'll stop by the town hall,
Of the description or the resume, which one? do you-
not the policy that change everything from.
Yeah, you have a copy, but I'd be happy to print one out for you and drop
Thank you.
by and I'll give you.
Councillor Ross, anything else?
yes and no, but that's fine, I thought they were, I didn't realize that when Dexter came on that changed, but that's okay, because we can bring some things back and look at that and maybe do some changes there too at another time, but yeah. It would. I just thought it was a lot better when council had a little bit of input. So, but, okay, good.
Councillor T-Bear.
I think with my explanation was answered, I was going to talk about our policy change that we made in the department head and now we've left it up to our staff to make decisions up to the department heads. The department heads have to come back to council, so that, and like our CAO, Paul explained, this is not a department head, so it doesn't have to come back to council, so. And we made that policy change back a few months ago, so, you know, I think I voted for that because that was,
I remember the policy change being made, I didn't realize that the department heads. That they lost their titles as department heads, that's what I didn't understand,
Supervisors.
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, Councillor Gardner.
Yeah, just. Sorry, so there's a couple parts here. So I was able to track it down. It looks like we got an email. Back in. Late 2024, so I was able to find that email and it has a copy of the hiring procedure. Which is just a couple of pages in there. It does state that that change was being made for the fact that they're not going to be a department head anymore, yeah. And then the minute meetings were actually attached to it as well. And the policy change was a unanimous vote and all members of council were present that day.
When was the?
January 31st, 2024 was the date of the meeting, so it was a unanimous change. And then just on the last note, I wasn't there for the entire thing. Paul had an unfortunate absence, so I came just the day of. I was asked to step in for the interview process. We scored the interview like we do any other interviews. All 3 people at the end had them scored in the same ranking, like not the same scores, but like first, second, third, everybody had the same ranking. To me, it was clear cut. I thought that's just my opinion. It was a clear cut decision. I would stand behind it completely and hopefully it all works out, but we do have a probationary period, should it not.
My concern is not with candidates in any way, shape or form, that's not what it is. I just was under the impression that that they were still department heads. And that we still had an input into that, that's my concern, not with who was brought in at all.
Sorry, there's just one last part.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then just the last thing was when we did do the reorganization, these positions have drastically changed and it reflected in the salary that was posted for. They're drastically changed to what they used to be, whereas these positions used to be treated more as managers. And now they are just day-to-day supervisors. So more the day-to-day tasks of what's going on in those departments versus the requirements that we had of the previous staff that were there. So position had drastically changed. Although it is you know, we have to just get that out of our minds that it's not what it used to be. It is a lot different.
So,
Go ahead.
so in the supervisor person or male or female, don't have any jurisdiction with the staff then, because they can be override by the director
I suggest you wait and provide them with the,
information.
Job description.
with a job description. It's all in there.
All right,
And I thought. That's just my personal thought, that when we went over this exercise, we looked at every position, we looked at every job description, and our thing was. That we wanted to avoid nepotism, which we're being blamed to this day still. We wanted to avoid political favors, we wanted to avoid that kind of stuff. And I remember the discussion, and that's why we adopted the policies that we did. And every, and I think I know what they are, but CAO, all of councils involved. Then when it goes to department heads, it's only 2 counselors, and then it goes down to when it's just a staff, it's administration.
so who's the two counselors?
In what,
Well, you said it, but comes to a decision with two counselors.
with department heads,
Department heads, yeah.
this is not department heads. No, I'm just telling you what the policy,
Oh, what do you?
I'm going through the
Yeah.
policy, the policy that you asked Paul to print out for you.
Okay,
So,
I'll get it,
Anyway.
I'll read it.
okay. Councillor Gardner.
Just comments related to the report. Do you want to move it and then ask questions or?
Sure, sure. Need a mover? And a seconder?
Record it too, please.
Okay, moved by Councillor Gardner, seconded by Councillor Mick. Be it resolved that Council of the Town of Mattawa receives report number 26-05R titled Staffing Updates. And a recorded vote was requested by Councillor Levite. Questions, comments? Councillor
So
Gardner.
the report is staffing updates, not really a question for the director, though it's more for the CAO. I just heard that there was some staffing updates in the hierarchy at the fire department. Just specifically with the deputy chief. I was just hoping you could kind of shed some light on that for us.
Yeah, so that probably. Should have probably been included in staffing updates. This was Public Works and Parks and Rec, but yeah, so. And to Deputy Chief Dupro. Is no longer Deputy Chief, but now has resigned from that position. And so. We don't have a new Deputy Chief. And yeah, so I was asked Sean to bring an update. Didn't come tonight, but the next meeting, so that you can have a full listing of the fire department, and that'd be great for council.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? None?
Councillor Wright,
No,
Councillor Gardner,
Yes.
Councillor Mick,
yes.
Councillor Teeger,
Yes,
Councillor Ross,
Yes,
Councillor Bigelow,
Yes.
and Mayor Maloney.
Yes.
Motion is carried with a recorded vote of 6 yeas and 1 nay.
Okay, number 10, bylaws, 10.1, being a bylaw. Joint Election Compliance Audit Committee. That's to authorize the establishment of that committee and to appoint its committee members for the 2026 municipal elections. And for the viewing audience, it's that, I'll just read the part of the bylaw here that the Council of the Corporation Town of Mattawa hereby adopts the terms and reference of the Joint Election Compliance Audit Committee, which are attached to this bylaw. And that Council of the Corporation Town of Mattawa hereby appoints the 3 following municipal clerks to the 2026 Joint Election Audit Committee for the term commencing November 15, 2026 to November 14, 2030, to meet the requirements of section 88.37 of the Municipal Act 1996 as amended. And the 3 clerks are clerk from Township of Pattano Cameron, clerk from the municipality of Matawan, and the clerk from municipality of Calvin. This was all brought to council last meeting and was agreed to bring it back as a bylaw this meeting. Only I'll need a mover and a seconder. So the motion is moved by Councillor Mick, seconded by Councillor Gardner. Be it resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Town of Mattawa adopt bylaw 26-03, being a bylaw to authorize the establishment of the Joint Election Compliance Audit Committee and to appoint its committee members for the 2026 municipal elections. Questions, comments? None? Okay, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. Old business, 11.1, library proposal from report 1601R. So before you came in, there was a discussion that the property that we were in question that we were waiting to, that's a done deal. There's also a third party that approached me and is probably gonna submit a proposal to the town, and I invited them to go ahead, we'll look at everything. And it was, then we're gonna go to the stakeholders committee, which you're part of, and they've been waiting, that committee's been waiting for a year for this to happen, so that's where we're at. So in addition to all the grants that we just received, we got a lot on our table. Anything else you wanted to, anybody else want to throw anything in on it? Okay, and there's no new business. Questions from the public pertaining to the agenda?
Yeah, I have a question. This new staffing update, I would like to know as a taxpayer, if I have the right to have a copy of the organizational chart of the whole municipal council, the staffing and the new staffing. Now we have directors, we have supervisors, and as far as supervisors are concerned, what authority they have? What say they have towards their employees, and how the director comes in and makes the decision whether she or he speaks or not. I would like to know how these decisions are made and how it all goes down.
Okay, first question I'm gonna ask is the policy on the website?
No.
Our policies and procedures are on the website.
Okay, so that would be a start, but, and the other thing I'm gonna say, you're more than welcome any day to come and see staff here and request that. It's public information and you're absolutely entitled to have it.
Yeah.
Anything you want?
No, I was just gonna say the job descriptions and the org charts were approved by council in public meetings. So it is all public information.
Yeah.
And absolutely make arrangement to come and let me know when you come, and we'll have copies made for you, and you can have a copy of it.
Okay, and I would like to know more information on the new director, the position you created, what his full authority is on the rest of the staff that go underneath him. Like, he's got a supervisor, he's got employees, I worked in the government, I know how it works. I would like to know how he goes about things with his staff.
So there,
Don't smile, Mr. Dexter.
as I said, the job description is public information.
Yeah.
Those are all listed in there, and happy to provide.
Now he dropped the line. All right, now go ahead.
My point for you was better. Make a better understanding if we consider these supervisor positions like that of a foreman. Because you've changed the structure, you've taken them management out, just don't look at them as supervisors anymore, think of them as foremen. Would that help accept the position of the firm? Because basically that's what they are, foremen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, and it's also in the scale pay of all the jobs too. I know out there that we're creating jobs and we're throwing money out the windows. But I can't stop those comments, but if you look at it, those came down in salary quite a bit. So and it's why we don't look at them as a department head anymore. And when we did our operational review, it was clearly identified to council that we had a gap. And they provided recommendation on how to fill the gap. And basically that's where it all stemmed from. Krista? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Larry.
I'd just like to add, I believe that the question that you asked, if a director, and then you have your supervisor and they have your staff, if a director overrules, I think, that's my opinion, if the director overrules his supervisor as to something that his staff has done, he'd have to have a pretty damn good reason to do that. He'd have to, I would assume, consult with the supervisor before he makes a decision, but he'd have to make the decision. He can't make the decision, I don't think, without the supervisor being involved. And then the supervisor should go to that employee, and whatever decision the director and him made, he would be the one to discuss it with the staff. That's my understanding of how it works, so.
Yeah, I'm just, I think you're right. I think the director or the talks to the supervisor, or the supervisor goes to the director.
Okay, so keep it to questions, please, and
Yeah, well, he's the, and the director should allow supervisor to do her part of the job, or his part of the job.
so
He comes in if it's completely out of control.
Sylvie, we invited you to come and you'll get all the answers. If you have more answers then, or questions then, we'll be happy to provide them.
So
Okay.
it better be done
Chris.
straight.
Krista,
The question is just kind of in regards to the hiring committee, and you said it was a staff with 2 counselors, how do you decide which 2 counselors? Like,
when it's a department head, it's listed in the policy.
as to which 2 counselors? You just said 2 council members.
I said that.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm just wondering, I'm sure.
It's stated in the policy who it is. I think the mayor has a privileged seat there. And the other one, I'd have to look at the policy. I don't know about her, but it's listed in there. Yep. We follow the policy.
Because other counselors didn't seem to know, so I don't know that they were approached or offered to sit on that committee is all I'm asking.
It's not forming a committee, it's following your procedures.
It's a hiring committee.
Yeah.
That is made up of.
But it is also a policy.
Yeah.
It,
that's what
it
I'm
states
saying.
who's in it. It states who's in
I
it.
assume that's also
Yep.
online that we can look at that.
I'm pretty sure. I asked the question first.
Which, yeah,
I'm not a
How do
computer
you,
whiz. So
how do you decide which two counselors sit
Yeah.
on? the committee?
it's on there, and I'm sure Sylvie will get those answers when she comes in also. Councillor Gardner?
So. I can't remember it verbatim for that part of it, but you were commenting to the department heads. And those ones would actually sort of be outdated because I think it was the chair.
There's up there.
Yeah, it was the chair and the vice chair.
That's right.
So that's no longer, so that's probably something that we have to revisit and look at and discuss how we would decide which counselors would be involved, but yeah, I believe it was the chair and the vice chair of the corresponding
The section they had.
Whatever.
what's the word I'm looking for, committee that I was, yeah. Is what I think the policy states.
Yeah.
Now, for the lower down staff, it was the mayor, the CAO and the department head
Lower
was
down staff, it's all administration.
for the supervisor roles.
Oh, supervisor.
Just, yeah, for supervisors,
Yeah.
it was always the mayor and then the department head and the CAO. And then it could be filled by,
I think you're right, but I think it was the mayor and the chair. I
I
think
think
you're
it was
right,
the chair, yeah.
okay,
but I'd have to look at it also. Yes, Krista.
Another question about 9.2, and that, it was brought up that the second resolution that came through was on the purchase of the property. And as Councillor Gardner pointed out, it almost seems like backwards, where the clerk said that it needs to be presented publicly and voted on. I just wonder what would happen in the case if this was voted against, since it's brought up after it's already been done.
The purchase was done following a resolution of council.
Right,
So the authority was given to the CAO treasurer to go ahead and purchase.
so shouldn't the resolutions be presented prior to that?
It was.
But she just had
Did
to
this-
finish it tonight because it had to be put in as a public meeting.
There is a resolution giving them authority to
From a
close the
previous
deal.
meeting?
Yes,
Okay, okay,
and now,
It's the
it
fun
just
one.
seems backwards tonight.
now the
that's all.
clerk needs it. For clerical reasons.
Right, it just seems backwards, that's all, I just wanted clarification.
So he didn't go out without authorization, number one.
No, I.
He had authority.
About it, it just hadn't been. it
From
looked
council,
like it had been
And
brought up.
tonight, it's tying the bow on the whole thing. And who signs the documents? That's what that resolution did.
So 9.2 would look good as one resolution to open and a second resolution to close.
Yeah,
That sound good?
yeah,
That's okay?
it should have been worded better that way.
That's check. That sound all right?
I missed what you said. The first one,
Resolution to open, second resolution to close. That sound about right?
the first resolution was to give staff the authority to go do it.
Which is the opening
Yeah.
and procedure one.
And now it's
So the second resolution tonight would be,
tied up legally,
yeah, to close.
if you want to call it open and close, sure.
Especially from the layman's point
Yeah.
of view, from over here. Not this technical
Yeah.
thing over there.
Well, I'm not a lawyer either. So, okay, so we can move on. We're going to, in the closed meeting. I will need a mover and a seconder. Motion is moved by Councillor Levite, seconded by Councillor Ross. Be it resolved that council proceed in camera. Closed session pursuant to section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001. As amended at 7:09 PM in order to address the following. Items 14.2 Castle Home. Update. 14.3 litigation matter. And 14.4 Mattawa landfill update, all under litigation or potential litigation. Including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Okay, I have a motion here moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Tiber. It resolved that the regular meeting reconvene at 7:55 PM. Questions, comments? None? All in favor? Carried. So we went into a closed meeting to discuss 3 items: the Castle Home update, litigation matter, and the Mattawa landfill update.
And there were no no.
And no motions came out of it. Adjourn, thank you, Council. That was number 16. Which brings us to an adjournment. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Levite, seconded by Councillor Ross. Be it resolved that this regular meeting adjourned at 7:56 PM. Questions, comments? None? All in favor? Carried.